And this is Fox 10 Talks. Good morning, everybody. I'm Ron Hoon. How about this for a quote coming out of the public meeting? There was a big public meeting, really the first major meeting after a month of fighting the Dragon Bravo fire. And the quote that came out of the meeting was this: "Tell us the truth." There are, you could just tell there is a certain level of frustration on the part of people who have been directly impacted by this seemingly impossible to corral fire, one of the largest in the country over the course of this past year and one of the top 10 biggest in Arizona history. By the way, updating you, we're at 130,000 acres every day. The numbers seem to keep getting worse. So how long will this fire be with us? Is it a situation where we're going to have to rely on Mother Nature weeks away from now to be able to get this fire out with some monsoon rains? Well, they're doing what they can, that's for sure, up in that area on the north rim of the Grand Canyon. But meeting held last night, emotions were flaring. We have for you now, for the next couple of minutes, some of the highlights of what was being said inside this meeting. Very interesting. This is in Fredonia. That was last night. Tonight is going to be in Page, and people do want answers. So here's some of what got said for you now last night. Basically, we ran through the whole highlights of the whole meeting, and here we go.
It almost looks like they've abandoned the state. It looks very bad.
Should the FBI get involved?
Well, they may have to. They may have to. No, I know they want them back. Not only...
Stand by, everybody. I am trying to punch up. SOT 1. Okay, here we go. SOT 1.
Almost looks like they've abandoned the state.
My apologies. We, go ahead. Go for it.
And this is huge in our area. And it is affecting so many people across the board. And I wanted to trust the man that was telling me that it's going to be 2 weeks before it gets to my water, but it wasn't 2 weeks, it was 3 days. And I know you guys don't have that answer any more than I have the answer. But just tell us the truth.
There is a time for an after-action review, okay? That is not this time. We are still in the middle of a very difficult, aggressive firefight. And there are all the information that we need in both agencies to have that after-action review is still there. All those people are still there, and that will happen at the appropriate time. Not every time are we going to be able to go directly to the fire and put it out, and that might be because we don't have the resources. It might be because it's extremely remote. It might be because it's extremely dangerous for the firefighters to get right there next to it.
This has been where we tried to anchor, and you're hearing the fire world anchor and flank, and that's been our toughest problem with this fire is grabbing an anchor. And so this fire was probably like this when we got here, and we found routes in to try and grab it here. Well, this fire fell off into the canyon, and there's brush that kind of hangs off the canyon. We can't put anybody down there. It hits those benches, and it'll just burn back up and spot, and burn back up and spot. Well, we did find a route, and we were going to grab it. A couple of times it popped up in spot and compromised our firefighters, so we had to pull them all out. And we have some helicopters that we're going to start dropping. It's like the retardant you see, but it's more of a suppressant, not a retardant. So it actually puts the fire out. We're going to start dropping that on those benches. We just can't. We're not going to put people down there. You know, this fire, when I say we had to move our plan, we had a couple of days where we had 30,000 acre runs, and that just doesn't happen. And so what we do when it does that, we just back everybody out, and what I like to say is we let it buck, and then we come back in and pick up the pieces. And that's been, you know, that's really the only thing we can do. I mean, when we were having these runs in here, we're talking 200, 300 foot flame lengths. I mean, if you're half mile away, you can feel the heat from that and hear the roars.
The prolonged dry conditions that you guys have had here on the plateau have made this difficult area to fight fire in even more difficult.
You heard earlier about the historic and adverse conditions that's facing our firefighters on the ground when Lath was up here walking around the map. I just want to be transparent with you all. This is going to be a long-term event from a recovery standpoint. Once we engage in the full suppression, and the team is here committed to that, and we're making a very great progress as we talked about today, the Forest Service will shift our focus to long-term recovery, including identifying and working through potential catastrophic flooding events from fires like this, reopening roads from hazard trees and ensuring public safety, and making sure that the forest is the safe place that we hope that it can be for our visitors.
And so, Syleste, they did their best to try to answer a lot of these questions, but you could hear, so there are groups of people who are especially frustrated.
Yeah.
Some are loggers who are in this area now. Obviously, that would be outside of the national park. But apparently in the meeting last night, loggers were talking about the fact that we were told we had to leave the area where we were operating when we had equipment that we could have used to help knock this fire down. That was one thing that we heard in this meeting last night. Then you had cattle ranchers saying when we were given such little notice to get out of the area, our concern is, what about animals left behind? We'll see what comes out of the meeting tonight in Page, but you could just sense the emotion in the woman who started our sound today about just how frustrating it is. And basically what we're hearing from officials is the time will come to dig into it and investigate and see if mistakes were made, and if so, who made them. But boy, right now emotions are raw.
I think it is for a lot of people, like the woman that you mentioned. She said, "You told me I had 3 days, but it really, or 2 weeks, but it really was 3 days."
Yeah.
In a situation like this, I think people just want to know, off the top of the situation, like how bad can it get, and should we evacuate now? And instead of waiting till the last minute. And I think that was frustrating for a lot of these families. These are the interesting, Ron, over the last, I don't know, couple of weeks or so much information has been released about clouds like this and the storm system that the fire has created within itself.
Good point.
Now called a mega fire and one of the largest burning in the country. It's really heartbreaking to see what's happened.
Okay, so here's the update today. Just came in 130,520 acres. And it's at 13% containment. So they're nowhere close to getting this thing knocked down. It's up from, we had, been as low as 9% just in recent days. That meeting wrapped up last night in Fredonia, which is well north of the canyon. Tonight it's going to be in Page at Page High School at 6 p.m. in the auditorium. So they do say that the fire spotted across the lines on the north end of the fire. This is directly from their statement that was just issued to us a little while ago. And so to try to minimize the growth of the new front, as they're calling it, you don't want to hear about fire spotting across the lines. But when you got the winds that they're dealing with, I guess it's somewhat understandable. So they do say that on the Walhalla Plateau, crews made efforts, but were met with similar results as they tried to stop the growth in the southwestern area, but the intensity of the wind-blown fire just made progress very, very difficult on the containment lines.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that is, of course, the big story this morning, and people for weeks have wanted answers, and it may be a long time before they get them, because for now, it sounds like they're only going to discuss what's going on with the actual firefighting efforts, not some of the decisions that were made in the first few days. Now, this other fire that is burning not that far away from Miami and Claypool. So if you ever drive up east of here, you have Superior, Miami, Claypool, and Globe. But if you were to draw pretty close to a straight line, Syleste, north of the little town of Miami, just a few miles, you would come face to face with the Billy fire. And we flew out there yesterday, and you can see, just how it is burning up the hillsides, as so often happens. And crews, unfortunately, I wish we had some more good news here to share with everybody, Syleste, but crews had to downwardly revise their containment numbers to 46%. And that was after some of the evacuation orders. This goes all the way back to Monday night and into Tuesday. But they are hoping to make progress in fighting this thing. The Murphy Ranch area has been put on go evacuation status. Crews are doing what they can because unless you've driven that road before, you may not be familiar with just what beautiful hill country that is north of Miami.
Yeah.
And so you've got people who, of course, are certainly hoping that once the firefighting is over, that they will, that they'll still have homes to go back to.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Billy Fire, Ron. We were just talking about the Dragon Bravo. When you take a look at some of the fires burning around the state, we have a good number of them, maybe a dozen fires burning in Arizona, a lot of them even in the southeast part of the state. So you mentioned the update. That update on the containment with 46% updated just like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
So they're constantly working on the containment of the fire, monitoring the fire lines, rugged terrain, but beautiful part of the Tano National Forest.
There's another story that we're following. People, I think, do have a great deal of interest in older cases, cold cases that they maybe remember if they lived here a long time ago. And we wanted to update you on this one because this is a cold case that goes all the way back here in the Metro Phoenix area to the 1990s, and an arrest has been made. We are talking about some great detective work. Here's what we know. Phoenix police took Abraham Ramirez into custody on felony counts of sex assault and kidnapping, and they say that recent DNA technology has allowed them to link him to the assaults of some cold cases where there were a couple of 17-year-old girls, an 18-year-old woman, a 20-year-old woman. This goes as far back as 1998. And 99. So you've got new kind of CSI type technology. You've got detectives who are relentless on some of these cases. And we're told they actually work with the Ventura County Sheriff's Office to ID the suspect, and found out that he had a rap sheet that goes back even earlier to the early 1990s, the year 1994. So we'll follow that story for you closely, but that's a story of really great detective work, and they think they've been able to crack that case. All right, Celeste, it's break time.
That means mystery cam time.
It sure does. Look at this town. Look at that shed right there and the water tower.
The shed needs a paint job.
And we need your guesses. Back in 2 minutes. And we welcome you back to more of FTT. With the friendliest chat box online. You just can't find a better group of people than who we have. We got Patricia Randolph. We have Shelley Vidal.
Yes.
Is on today. We have Cherie Wolf. We have a lot of folks, a lot of our regulars and a lot of newer commentators. Celeste, you seen any good guesses yet?
Oh, we have some spectacular guesses.
Spectacular.
Yeah, I think that one of you's got to be a winner.
Okay.
Brandy the Bookworm said New Mexico. So does Mr. Paul Valine.
Okay.
We also have a Tucson from Melinda. Melinda always says Tucson. This time, Melinda, you might be right.
Melinda, the Tucson Chamber of Commerce wants to chat with you.
Deong in the chat says New Mexico. Charles David says Texas. So does Sammy G. Louis Gonzalez says Texas. Sherry Wolf said Alabama.
You know what I thought when I first saw it, but then I thought, because it's a little bit of a sleepy Berg. Blythe. I thought of Blythe, California.
That is a good point.
But it's a little too many green trees, so I don't think I'm going to go with.
Do you think they have a camera in Blythe?
Well, my question is this.
Do they have it at that Chevron right off that exit?
Yeah. Well, that would be a better location than this. When whatever this TV station this is got a hold of their fancy brand new camera, and they said to their engineer, we don't care, just go hang it on any phone pole. What is that? I mean, you got one shack, you got more of a rundown shack versus a more of a updated shack.
And it's very flat. Where is the sun? The sun. Do you think it's right above? Like it's right midday?
Oh, Celeste, you might be onto something.
And then there's a town that has a water tower.
So what do you want to guess, Celeste?
Oh, brother Ron. There's a lot of states it could be.
Difficult choice.
I'm gonna go Oklahoma.
Because I was gonna go Texas. So here we go. There it is one last time, ladies and gentlemen. The answer now on the Celeste Cam, courtesy of Dino Fazzino, is
Andrews, Texas.
Oh, nice.
Well done.
You know, one year when I was touring the great state of Ohio, we have a mystery state that I'm going to be touring next week, Celeste.
Yes.
And
we're gonna have you live,
correct,
on the show next week.
We're not really going to announce it till next week,
right?
But I like to tour states. I like to know my America. And I went on a tour of the state capital in Columbus, Ohio. They have 88 counties because they have a marble floor with all 88 counties etched into it.
Wow,
it's super cool.
Can you imagine the gathering of the sheriffs of all of those counties?
Yeah, man.
My goodness.
That's a lot. But Texas has got to have, you know what? This is an unofficial Ask AI. Stand by, everybody. This is going to be an unofficial Ask AI. I finally learned how to get it to speak to me.
To speak to you.
Yeah, so
what does Ron like for breakfast?
Yeah, I'm not even going to answer that one. We're not talking salaries today either. But I am going to ask it, how many counties are there in the great state of Texas? And I'm going to punch this. And then I'm going to... You have to drop, right here. Ready? Here we go. Okay, here we go. I think I got this.
254 counties, which is more than any other state in the U.S.
254 counties?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? By the way, I went with a new voice. I don't know who that guy is. Juniper or Sage or, they give all of their artificial voices
a name. Speaking of names,
254.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Speaking of voices, when you're traveling, Ron, and you're in the airport, and it says the walkway is ending on the moving little magic carpet.
Yes.
Do you know whose voice?
Well, yes,
that is,
because I've known him for so long. Every time I hear it, I'm like, "Oh, is that my buddy Mike
Dixon?"
Yeah, Michael Dixon.
Yes, is it great?
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I just hope he gets big checks, big royalty checks every month in the mailbox. The walkway is ending.
That's a big no. I asked him I asked him last week. I'm like, do you get royalties from this? My goodness.
My gosh,
yeah.
That's great. Okay, so anyway, now we've all learned something new on the show today.
Yes, we
have.
And
we've covered some of the big stories, and boy, have we got a lot of great ones coming up. But we now know they have 254 counties in Texas.
That is
now,
a lot of counties.
A sheriff's convention.
Wow.
All right, let's find out a little bit about this next story. There is a popular hiking area called Fossil Creek Creek. I've not done it yet, but it's up there kind of northwest of Payson, closer to Pine and Strawberry. And there was a church group that was out there on a hiking retreat just a few days ago. And one member of the group, 59 years old, Joe Sullivan, he was there just kind of as a chaperone and keeping track of everybody. Somehow he ended up off trail, separated from the rest of the group.
Yeah.
And he was out there, Celeste, for days.
Yeah.
And you can imagine how worried everybody was getting.
But
right?
he survived.
He survived it.
Yeah.
Eventually what happened was he was able to survive by drinking some fresh water and then prickly pear. He must be an outdoorsman, because we have the prickly pear cactus, but you have to know how to attack it before you eat it.
Do you know how what type of prickly pear is a superfood?
Yeah. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I like it when it's in a jar and you can buy it at Sky Harbor Airport at one of those made in Arizona stores, right?
Yeah. So it is, I looked this up today because I thought, wow, this guy survived in the middle of the desert in July.
Yeah.
We're going to see 117 today.
Yeah.
Prickly pear is considered a superfood. It has antioxidants. It's a good source of fiber, high in vitamin C, low in calories, contains minerals. And for those of you who have been here for a while, nopales, my grandmother would bake those. It's cactus, prickly pear.
Really?
Yeah, so my grandmother would stick them in the oven when I was little, and she would bake them. And you can actually buy them in a jar now in like the Mexican section of grocery store.
Yeah.
Some people make salsa out of them.
Oh, that
like
actually would be pretty darn good.
Yeah, and it's very tasty.
Yeah, because I've had the, I guess it's like a jam or a jelly, that kind of a thing. But anyway, here, you better believe it was a church group. And while Joe was missing, there was a lot of praying going on. And so here is exactly what got said.
The last we heard of him, he called and said he was lost. And then his phone went dead. Joe was found.
He was found! Yeah. Oh my gosh!
Praise the Lord.
Wait, what can you tell us about? Where was he found?
We just heard that he self-rescued himself.
I just felt so worried. I was like, am I going to see this guy again, or is he just going to... Thank God. I'm so out of speech. I'm speechless right now. Thank you.
Wow, prayers were answered.
And there's Joe's picture right there. So he managed basically to kind of save himself. He got lost. He found some water. He had the prickly pear. Fossil Creek is truly one of the most beautiful hiking spots in our state. And so, Celeste, we also run that as a public service for everybody who has ever told me, Hooner, I don't watch the news because it's all bad news.
Yeah, that's not bad news.
That's good news at the very moment they got the news.
And he survived.
Oh, I just love that
so great.
much. Yeah, really, really great. Okay, on to our next. Oopsie. I accidentally turned my own microphone off. There's a story coming in this morning that we are going to talk about because it has to do with, it's trending on Reddit. And here's the title. And Celeste, we're also going to bring in Standby Big Dave. We got Dave coming up on the Dave Cam. And if you guys want to join in the chat as well. Name something that is against all hygiene rules, but people do it anyway.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a few that showed up on Reddit.
Keep it clean, Ron.
And
this is a family program.
Oh, yes, we definitely keep it clean. Celeste, you tell me whether you agree, if you think these are good remarks or maybe not so much. Okay, number one.
Yes.
The sticky condiment bottles at a restaurant table. Ever go to a restaurant table and you're like, why does it seem like the ketchup on that bottle is sticky and dried up? Ever said that to yourself?
Yeah, you're like, or it's like filmy.
Yes.
There could be a film on the salt shaker.
Number two, licking your fingers while you're trying to turn pages.
Oh.
Does that one bug you?
Yeah, it does.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bug me as much. Do you ever lick your fingers when you're like at a restaurant with food that's like chicken or something?
That is a hard no.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I get told by a lot of people in my family to quit doing it.
You do that.
And
But Ron, I love everything about you.
Okay, even that?
That.
My response is, try being a guy. We have enough rules we have to follow elsewhere to worry about licking our. And the Colonel's slogan is
So finger licking good.
correct, Dave. Finger licking good. That's for sure. Okay, so
Dave Brousseau in the chat said, "If it's sticky, you probably shouldn't eat it."
Thank you, Big Dave. That's Dave Brousseau. I thought this was an interesting one. I never thought about this before, but I'm on board with this commentator who said, "Eating while bowling." Think about it. Your fingers are going in and out of the hole. Did I ever tell you, Celeste, the first trophy and one of the very few I ever won in my life? Most improved bowler.
Wow.
When I was like 9 or 10 years old.
And you still remember.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, amongst all the awards that a young man can receive, most improved bowler?
Wow.
It doesn't get better than that.
Really? Not even the silver circle at the Emmys?
Well, let's just say they both went on the same shelf. Anyway, okay, so this commentator's like, first you're sticking your fingers down in the hole, and you got whatever, you're eating a sandwich and you got sloppy mayo or ketchup and it's going down into the holes. Plus, you don't know what the person beforehand.
Oh, no.
And then what about the rental shoes? I mean, I don't think those things get washed after every use.
No, I think they spray them on the inside with like some Tinactin or something.
Yeah.
This show brought to you by, but yeah.
Fast actin Tinactin.
Yes.
Big D, you got any pet peeves on things that people do that break the hygiene rules, or they just go ahead and do it anyway?
Well, I have to read what Sherry Nevada Pup said.
Good.
She said pee in the pool.
Ooh.
So that's a nasty one.
Right.
But what I wanted to bring attention to, and it's one that I'm guilty of, is using the phone in the restroom.
Yeah.
I think that's such a common thing, but obviously not the most sanitary or hygienic
Correct.
thing to do.
Yeah. We're doing an honesty poll. Remember where we're like, hey, when you come to a yellow light, do you give her the gun or do you slam on the brakes? And most people said, you know what, pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
That could be another one, is in an honesty poll. Do you scroll while you're on the John?
Yeah, that's true.
I think a lot of people do.
I'm glad we're talking about this morning because Melinda in the chat says, ugh, I was married to a man, past tense, who didn't wash his hands after the restroom. We weren't married long, but not for that reason.
I was going to say, that amounts to a deal breaker.
I think so, Melinda.
Well, you do need to match somebody who's got your own kind of overall hygiene habits.
Well, I think it's the same. Like when people are picking at their toes and then they don't wash them, that's not good.
How about cutting your toenails in public?
Or at work.
Yes, back in 2 minutes. All right, everybody, welcome back. We have got a treat for you. By the way, Celeste, if you continue to see remarks, whether they're off color or not, regarding hygiene issues, by the way, we have Braiden Bell here. He is the voice of the Mercury. There's Braiden. Braiden, you're coming in after a segment of what's against all hygiene rules, but people do it anyway.
We just need to fix Braiden's headroom. If we don't, because his money.
No, I'm sorry, Braiden.
I'll duck.
We have a rule. We only allow guests who are 5'10" and shorter.
How tall are you?
6'3".
Oh, you're out.
Oh,
I'm
darn it.
Did you grow up playing basketball, high school ball, that kind of thing?
I knew I wasn't going to play professionally, so I decided to go into broadcasting as
That's
well. I learned that at a pretty young age.
That's kind of my story, too.
Okay.
As a matter of fact.
That's good. We realized it.
Yeah. So anyway, this is great because it's finally, we're getting a real chance. We love the Merc around here. A lot of excitement around this year's team. And so Braiden is our guest. And by the way, Celeste.
Yes.
One of the bigger names in the WNBA might be coming to town tomorrow.
Are we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Yeah, we are. Now,
do we think she might be here with us now in the studio?
What do you mean?
Braiden, what's your
Rachel,
come on over.
back.
We just need to show
All right,
Rachel's face. Come on, Rachel.
Come
on, Rachel.
You gotta
You
do
don't
it
have
now.
to say anything, but we
Rachel?
need to show your face.
Yeah, you have to do it, or Celeste will swing that camera
I
around
will.
on you.
She is a doppelganger
Yeah.
for Caitlin Clark.
Go ahead, Celeste, swing
Okay,
the
hold
camera
on one
around.
second.
All right, here's. I mean, if we're going to talk about it, we got to show it.
Right.
So anyway, this is Rachel.
Yeah.
And she is like one of the higher ranked executives in the
She's big time.
WNBA.
She's big time.
Here she comes. She's just going to come in for a quick wave. Here she comes. All right, Rachel.
She did not expect this cameo.
This is our. Come on.
Just
no, over here. By
Braiden.
here.
We're wearing
Give
the
him a
same
big
outfit,
wave.
too.
Look at her.
Look at that.
Ron, you got to
Okay,
move back.
wait, no,
Okay, there we go.
there we
Oh,
go.
my goodness.
Pretty close.
How many
Thank
times
you, Rachel.
per day are you told you look like Caitlin Clark? Average.
A lot. She's
A lot. Okay.
Well, we had Caitlin Clark. We were talking about this story. They walk in, and I thought to myself, do we have Caitlin Clark here?
I know.
What is happening? That is
because that was going to be the topic. The Fever are coming to town.
Yes.
The question is, will Caitlin play? And I know, Brandon, you've kind of been right on the edge of looking at that. And so could you tell us what you're hearing or seeing or et cetera?
Well, we don't know for sure. I guess it's questionable. She's been out the last several games, unfortunately. But even if she doesn't play, and I think that's what it might be trending towards, it's still going to be a really great game. Indiana's right behind the Mercury right now in the standings. Phoenix is having a really good year, obviously. So it's going to be a competitive game regardless. Obviously, we hope Caitlin plays, but if not, it'll still be a really good game. And the Merc are bringing great storylines.
Oh, my goodness.
On their own side.
Yeah, what are some of those storylines?
Well, Alyssa Thomas is a big one.
Yeah.
Newly acquired first year here. She's putting up MVP numbers. I would say, if not the leader in the MVP race right now, maybe number 2, back-to-back triple-doubles, including last night, a big win. And then overall, it's just been a really fun team this year. A brand new team almost. It almost has a college feel, right, of after the transfer portal. So many new names this year.
Yeah.
But they've blended really well together. They're right now sitting 4th in the standings. So
that's amazing.
Looking to be a good playoff team as well. So it's been a lot of fun to watch them come together.
I think it's been great because the Merc, ever since the team launched, which was many, many years ago, have always been great.
Yeah.
They
Diana
really have.
Taurasi, they've always had these big names. And I have to say, I've been to many games at the arena, and they're so fun.
Yes.
What's it like for you to announce the game and kind of be a part of all of that energy?
Well, you guys get it because you're in the business, but imagine, 15,000 fans cheering. Not necessarily what you're saying because they're not listening.
At home.
But, right.
They are right now
Right
at
now,
home.
they're on the.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh,
Everybody in the chat right now, they're like, go Ron.
And how dare I for not acknowledging the chat? No, but it brings so much enthusiasm and intensity to everything that's going down. And you're exactly right. And tomorrow at the game, everyone's going to be receiving a rally towel. And,
oh, nice.
And there's still
nice.
affordable seats. And I think, especially with the weather the way it is right now this week, it's air conditioned fun. It's family
good
fun.
point.
So,
we're always looking for something to do with the kids in the AC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's working well at the stadium?
Yeah, I've
How many? I wonder how many AC units they have there pumping through. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So how do you start the game? Like, do you have like a certain thing like that you say or in the mic?
Sure. So
Can you give us a little taste, a little preview?
I should have brought my readout because it's the only thing I script for the 2 hours we're on air. It's the only thing you can script because it's live.
Yeah.
It's live sports. So I work with our producers, our directors. We're going to get shots of whoever's walking in. So tomorrow, if Caitlin does end up playing, we'll get a shot of Caitlin. We'll get a shot of, I would imagine, Alyssa Thomas.
Maybe Rachel if she's walking in and she's going to play in Caitlin's spot.
Yeah, maybe. And you're going to acknowledge that. You're going to acknowledge the scene of the game, of course, and then you're going to take it into me and Ann Myers-Drysdale, who's the analyst, a Hall of Famer.
A legend.
A legend, of course. And then we're going to get right into business. So
nice.
The start is always the most nerve-wracking, but it's also the most fun because it's the only thing you can fully script.
Yeah.
Hey, before we let you go, can you tell us about not long ago when BG returned, when Brittany Griner returned? I think the fans showed her a lot of love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And deservingly so. It was an emotional moment, you could tell, for Brittany. She'll be back actually on Sunday as well.
Oh, great.
For a second game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was one of those moments where you can tell athletes are just built different. Imagine going back to a place where you worked for over a decade.
Yeah.
You're shown a video of all your accomplishments, and then you have to lock in and try to, take care of business against your former employer. She was able to do that. I mean, she played great in the game.
Yeah.
But it certainly was a really special moment to have her back. You're exactly right. The X Factor gave her a standing ovation, gave her flowers.
Oh, that's awesome.
As she deserved.
Big D, is this from the chat box?
No, this is from the news team.
Big D.
Oh, our news team. Okay, they want to know. What about these fans that sorry, I mean, it's a PG show. Don't worry about it. But what about these fans that have been throwing sex toys onto the arena floor? Now, first of all, have we had one of those incidents here?
No.
Okay. Then number two, what's going on? And what's the chatter you hear about it?
I don't know what's going on. It needs to stop.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I think that's
it's really inappropriate.
It's extremely inappropriate. It's also, I mean, it's putting people in danger.
Yeah.
Whether we want to, discuss that or not. These are athletes who are running, they're cutting, they're jumping, exactly right. It's
very
inappropriate
and
more
very
than anything.
unhygienic.
Well, that's one of our topics today is hygiene. But Celeste, you and I both have been watching these stories over the last few days. Has the league had anything to say about it?
I haven't seen any official statements from the league yet.
Okay.
Obviously, it's been talked about a lot, especially on social media.
Yeah.
I do know that one of the fans, I'm not sure if it was the first or second instance, was arrested. So it's serious.
Yeah,
and
people are getting
obviously
arrested.
Shouldn't happen. I'm glad it hasn't happened here, and hopefully it doesn't happen anywhere else.
People think it's a prank. Instead, they're going to take it seriously.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Hey, great having you in as a guest today, Brendan. And let's bring you back once. Oh, Braiden.
You're good. I get it at Starbucks all the time. I get it at Starbucks all the time.
What is
Brendan?
it again? It's Braiden. It's Braiden.
And then come back once the Merc win it all.
Yeah,
let's
do
talk
it.
about that.
Let's do it.
Be a big party, that's for sure.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, great to meet you. Great to
Thank
meet
you,
another
buddy.
Sun Devil.
That's right.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes.
He's an ASU guy.
Yes, he is.
All right, let's talk a little bit about what the president had to say yesterday. I'm going to roll the sound and take a listen to this. I think we've got this on SOT 3. Yes. But I'm going to let you roll it anyway, Bri. Take it away.
It almost looks like they've abandoned the state. It looks very bad.
Should the FBI get involved?
Well, they may have to. No, I know they want him back. Not only the attorney general, the governor wants him back, if you look.
Okay, so that's the president talking about whether or not the FBI might have to intervene because the governor in the state of Texas says that's it. They are shutting down business at the Capitol. And by the way, we're not just voting on things like redistricting. There are many other things, including a bill to help those who were devastated after all that flooding. So now the president was asked about it. We will wait to see whether there is some sort of FBI involvement. That is is maybe iffy at best because it is primarily a Texas issue. The warrants were issued out of Texas. You could make an argument. They did cross state lines.
Yes.
They are impeding sort of the normal business of the state of Texas by doing so. But whether or not there's really a federal case, that remains to be seen. But Celeste, our poll question this morning looks like this. By the way, another state was welcoming them, which was Massachusetts yesterday.
Oh, okay.
We have Illinois, that's been going on, and New York, and now they've spread all the way across the country out to Massachusetts.
Are they camping there, or
I think
are they...
they're staying in either homes or hotels or something along those lines. Here are your options in our poll question, and then we'll go over to Big D on the Dave Cam.
Big D.
What do you think? Trump says the FBI may have to get involved. The governor's demanding they come back. 56% say good. They should either be arrested or forced to return to the legislature. Bad, says 3%. The FBI doesn't need to get involved. This is for Texas to sort out. 13% saying they shouldn't be arrested, but they probably should be fined. It's time to get back to work. And 28% say no arrest, no fines. I hope they hold out for a long time. If you've got an opinion, you can grab that QR code. Most of these votes have a tendency to move these numbers around pretty quickly, Celeste.
Yes.
But we also, I don't know if we have.
Oh, that's a pretty shot there.
If we have our YouTube poll, you guys can, you can bring up the YouTube poll if you want.
Yeah, the YouTube poll is a little different.
Oh, yeah. What do you see?
Just slightly. 303 votes on that one. Big D. Can you see it over there? Dave's got some good comments, and it's a little different.
Yeah, it definitely is a little bit different, and I can bring up the what the YouTube poll results are right now. 36% say good, they should be arrested or forced back to the legislature. 16% say bad, the FBI shouldn't get involved. Only 4% say they shouldn't be arrested but should be fined. And 45%, this is the current first place, say no arrests, no fines. I hope they hold out for a long time. But more than 300 votes, a lot of good comments here. Makes a lot of sense. Charles David, 5137, says if they are skipping out on work and collecting a paycheck provided by the taxpayers, then they need to be held accountable. And Sally from Tonopah says these childish acts need to stop and they need to do the jobs they were elected for. Trump was elected by the people, so were they. He's doing his job, so should they. They're not being paid to like someone, but they deserve the respect they're entitled to. If we, the people, acted like this and refused to show up for work, we would be fired. Fire them all. I want to know how much our tax dollars are being used to pay for their actions. So a lot of passion here. Keep the comments up. Keep the engagement. We love hearing from you.
I don't know about you, Celeste, but I feel like there's at least one of us who, if they didn't show up for work, would not get fired.
Right. And okay,
this
so
guy
there's
right here.
Not true.
He's too vital. He's too vital to our whole operation.
He is. He's amazing. Big D.
All right, we're going to take a break and be back in 2 minutes. All right, everybody. Welcome back.
Ron,
More of Fox 10 Talks.
people
Celeste,
don't
what's
want
that
to.
dance?
People don't want to stop with the jam.
I bet. Are the people are you talk when you say people? Do you mean you?
I mean, yeah, the people in my brain, in my head.
Hey, Celeste.
Yes, sir.
Brandy the Bookworm is one of our most loyal. I put her in the top 10 of our most loyal viewers.
Absolutely.
She suggested a story that we were talking about possibly doing today anyway.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go for it right now.
Let's do
Ready?
it.
Rolling
Let's
this.
do it.
These are some of your new food choices if you're going to go to a Cardinal game this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we have pretzel bite nachos, Chicago-style hot dogs, which is a natural. Look at the pickles on top of the sliders. I like that. But the creme brulee donut tower. I'm going to look for this for a moment of all this different video. Let's see if we can find the creme brulee donut tower. Specialty fries. Man, those sandwiches.
That looks delicious.
Those sandwiches, I'd have to bring a take-home bag.
Oh, those
finish
meatballs
those.
there? Wow.
Yeah. Still looking for the creme brulee donut tower. Ooh, look at those nachos. Well, I don't know. Maybe we showed it a little bit earlier, but I thought I've never heard of that before. A creme brulee donut tower.
Wow.
But if you order that, you're going to be the most popular guy in your entire section.
Yeah, and anything on French fries, chili, steak, meatballs, carne asada, whatever it is, it's delicious.
Now, I have been on record as a big believer in Coach Gannon. Coach Jonathan Gannon.
Yes.
You may remember that he was a genius, a defensive coordinator genius in his earlier stop with the Eagles. But the thing about it is, Celeste, every year you can just see the team getting better and their record improves. I'm so excited for this year. I really think they could make the playoffs. So anyhow, that's just one more thing to add to your list of fun things to do in the air conditioning. Go to a Cardinal game and try some of these new food items and hopefully walk away happy from another W, another win for the Cardinals.
Yes, huge. And I think some of that food may help them win.
You think so? Oh, you think they stock up on some of this?
I think maybe they fill the locker rooms.
Okay, with the creme brulee donut tower right before the game?
And maybe some of those steak fries, you know what I mean?
Okay, now when it comes to various food items, we have another story to tell you about, and this has to do with this is kind of in the category of would you consume this or not?
Okay.
It is the all-new, I have not seen the pictures yet, but it's the all-new ketchup smoothie.
Oh, interesting. Is it like the Wendy's Frosty where you dip the fry in the smoothie?
Possibly. Here we go. The tomato ketchup smoothie from Heinz. This is a collab that could go either way, Celeste, honestly. Okay, so you got to give them credit because they're going to get some chatter about it, but they are teaming. It's a real deal. They're teaming up with Smoothie King with a tomato ketchup smoothie. Now, when I heard ketchup smoothie, I thought, no. But tomato? To add that kind of savory taste to a smoothie? I could possibly go for that. By the way, there it is once you set it down. And so Heinz says the drink blends real fruits with their Simply Tomato Ketchup to create a delicious summer sip. The smoothies are going to be available at Smoothie King nationwide. They've already set their price. We'll go Price is Right rules on this, Celeste. How much you think they're going to charge for this? Closest without going over.
For a small, I'm going to go maybe like $6.
You win. $5.70.
Really?
Yeah. So, I don't know. That seems like a reasonable price.
Yeah.
In the era of the $8 hamburger and the $5 French fries.
So, I was just looking at some of the locations that it might be available. Atlanta, Chicago, Denver, Miami, New York, and Northern New Jersey. Sorry, if you're in South New Jersey, you're out of luck. But apparently that is where they're going to launch these first. And they want to see, hey, is this really going to work? But apparently it says red ripe tomatoes, which they're going to use, rich in vitamins and antioxidants. And And so they're hoping to maybe like boost your overall health, make you glow, give you that tomato glow.
You would be a little reddish on the glow.
Probably,
A little more
yes.
tomato-like in your complexion.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think I maybe would look good like that. All right. So, Celeste, the opposite of Coach Gannon, who is on nobody's hot seat list. He's one of the great up-and-coming coaches in the entire league, and I really hope they have great success this year. The opposite is a coach who's on his way out the door. Let's say you're the fan of a team, and your greatest hope is that your coach is about to get fired and will be leaving your community and moving on to another one.
Okay.
How do you spread the message that that's what you would like to see so that the coach actually knows what you think?
Okay, so if you're the coach's boss.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe, or the coach himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe change the name on the door of their office.
That's a good way to do it.
Maybe
put it in a terse 2-sentence memo.
Yeah.
We wish him well.
Yeah, wishing you well.
Or if you're a frustrated fan and your greatest hope is that your bad coach is going to leave town,
Yes.
but you're not sure he has everything he needs to leave town, you could do what these fans do. Ready? Watch this. 1, 2, 3. They're holding up suitcases, Celeste, by the dozens.
Wow. Where is this again?
This is in Europe, in Lithuania. Look at that. That's hilarious.
Oh.
They're throwing the suit. It's a kind of a volunteer effort. Oh, wait. No, maybe it's not so well-intentioned.
Well, you know what? I
Yeah,
will
they're
say
chanting.
this.
They want 'em out.
When you go to a football, which that is what it's known as around the rest of the world.
Yeah.
When you go to a game, they are fiery.
Yes.
I was in Spain in March, and we were at a soccer game, and it was Madrid versus Barcelona. Barca versus Madrid.
Do you say Barcelona or
Barca.
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Very nice. Okay,
but the team is called Barca.
Okay.
Barca.
Okay.
So they were playing Madrid, and I thought I was in the middle of a Middle East protest.
Oh,
there was
no.
fire and flares and flags and it was like a riot outside.
Wow.
I have video I should show you.
So that
It
was Barcelona versus who?
Madrid.
Wow.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So these guys, you can see it. It's very emotional.
Yeah.
Isn't that the great thing about sports, though?
Yeah.
It's very emotional.
It really is.
Yeah. Get you fired up.
Another story to get to this morning is it possible? I'm just going to punch my camera up here. Is it possible that the tariff, I haven't really seen a lot of prices go up much in terms of the tariffs.
Okay, yeah, me neither.
Now they're sending a warning signal out from Seattle that Starbucks might have to raise the price of their PSL, Celeste.
Oh,
Their
brother.
pumpkin spice latte.
Are you a pumpkin spice fan?
Not at all.
Do you like pumpkin pie?
I do like pumpkin pie.
So you love the pie, just not
Correct.
this. Here's my thing
because
with this.
it seems so super trendy.
It is.
It's kind of
It is.
bougie.
It's very
and
bougie.
that ain't me.
Do you want to show your shoes off again, Ron? But here's the thing with the PSL as well.
Okay.
It's different. It tastes different depending on what Starbucks location you go to.
Really?
I feel it because some people, baristas, will make it more pumpkin-y or less pumpkin-y, and it's not all, there's not a true consistency, I feel like sometimes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. But it's very pricey.
Yeah, okay.
I just
there's
drink
that
my coffee
too.
black.
Yeah.
Black with a sprinkle of cinnamon,
Okay.
powdered cinnamon. It's supposed to be, it's good for you.
Well, here's what they're saying. They do say that the 50% tariff that was recently announced on imports from Brazil, well, guess where a lot of our coffee beans come from?
Where's that?
Brazil.
Brazil.
As a matter of fact, did you know they're the #1 biggest coffee exporter to the U.S.? Now, there are a lot of other countries, I think, that you could get coffee beans from, especially in Central America, like Panama. And some other nations. But, hey, you're going to have to do some shifting here because I could see how that is a legit expense if the actual coffee turns out to be a lot more expensive.
Well, here's can I give you the top 10 coffee growing countries?
Please.
Brazil, Indonesia,
Yep.
India, Vietnam, Ethiopia, Honduras, Colombia, Uganda, and Peru. Then there's additionals, but
So let's review like it's a test. You've now learned there are 254 counties in Texas. And Celeste just gave you the list of the 10 coffee-producing nations around the world. Thank you, Celeste.
You're welcome. Technically, that was 9. The 10th would be Mexico.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. One more story to share with you this morning. We're so happy. We've been sending out our shirts. We did a T-shirt Tuesday giveaway. Watch this. Ready? We have the entrant, Mr. Paul Valine. He's such a regular.
He's so great.
We're going to show you right now, buddy, right here on the streaming show, because here he is, and boy, he feels like he's rolling in the cash. Hold on. I need VO. No. Okay, there we go.
This is huge.
All right, you guys roll it. We're having so many problems with these buttons today. Will you roll VO11? That's Mr. Here we go. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at him, Mr. Paul Valine.
Oh, that is so great.
It's so
multiple
great.
angles.
And
inside,
look at,
outside by the golf course. Oh, and
front and back. Front and back.
Yeah.
And then look at this image. Look, he's an editor as well, putting together these cool shots. I think we have one.
Here comes the money. Show me the money.
That is so brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to mention, Ron, there were some of these sent out with our Fox 10 Talks shirts.
Okay.
I wanted to let you know what these are because we had a couple of questions. Hey, what is this?
Yeah, what are they?
This is coming from our Going Dutch Fox show. It's a reusable kitchen towel.
Okay.
So it seems like cardboard, but once it gets wet, you can use it to like scrub dishes, wipe things down, wipe down the table, maybe wash your face, you know.
Okay. So it was just a little bonus that people weren't even expecting.
It was a bonus. Our promo department, big kudos to everyone there, including Brian Bluvis. He leads our promo department. They have all these little goodies. So if you order a T-shirt, you might get a little bonus.
Hey, we got 1 minute left. Let's bring Anita in because we got a big 11 a.m. hour coming up.
Yes, we do.
And oh, did you? I don't see Ty anywhere around here.
He's hiding.
Oh, he's
Ty,
way back
get your
there.
butt over here.
Oh, I see. Good.
Okay. So the
what's going
Phoenix
on?
PD has unveiled its new communications center.
Yeah.
So Irene was out there live, so she's going to tell us all about that. We'll have an update on the school.
This is in the old Wells Fargo building.
Yeah, just down the street.
Right? They're going to now occupy that new, or not a new, but they're going into that high rise.
Yeah, Sheriff Joe Arpaio used to have his office up there in the top level.
So we'll get a peek as to how and what they were able to remodel.
Yeah.
And then
nice view.
surprise guest coming up in the second half.
Ooh.
You'll just want to stay tuned.
Surprise guest.
Excellent. Good. I'm actually really looking forward to tuning into that segment because I know the whole PD, I know they've been really looking forward to moving because eventually everybody's going over there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but the communication center is there now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one thing at a time, like just baby steps is where we're going with
It's
it.
the
But
most
that's
secure building in the entire city.
Boy, yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Fox 10, you guys.
And we're back in 2 minutes with Ty and Anita.
All right, welcome on in to Fox 10 Talks at 11. We're just going to keep things rolling here live on YouTube and our Fox local app. A nice start to the Wednesday, but it is going to be pretty hot. You were just outside. How's it feeling,
Unfortunately, it's a little
Irene?
warm already at 11 o'clock, or 10:30 when I was last out there.
It was like
I think it was
104.
100 degrees before 7 a.m.
when it's still dark.
And it's supposed to be 118 tomorrow. That's when I panic. I'm okay with. I mean, we know where we
110,
live.
yeah.
We know what we know what
signed
we're
up
in
for.
for. But when it hits 118, which means it's like 2 degrees away from 120, is when I'm thinking like, can I
survive?
Can I? Yeah.
Do I want to survive?
Over 115 is pushing it a little bit.
You're right.
Well, 115 is warm, but I feel like we can go back to 110 quickly. When you're at 118, it's like
That's a long way down to go.
over. Yes.
Yeah. All right, we brought Irene in because you just got back from a pretty interesting story, just kind of a couple blocks, or I guess
A few blocks away,
block
not
and a
quite.
half away, yeah.
Barely a couple blocks.
So walk us through what's happening there.
Sure. Well, it's eventually going to be the new Phoenix Police headquarters. So right now they're still operating right across from right next to our station, pretty much here on Adams. But the new location, this is their first operational unit that's working there right now. It's the communications unit.
What does that mean?
So basically, there's going to be people who are taking 911 calls, and then the dispatchers who are giving the information to the first responders going out in the field. So they had some people training there, so we were able to look at what they were doing. But then other people were actually taking calls. So they had like one side for training, one side for people who were actually, we heard them while we were there taking some of those live calls.
Cool.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know if you know this off the top of your head, this used to be the old Wells Fargo building. Is that correct?
It's where Sheriff Joe Arpaio had his office.
Was that in the same building?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. So have they started construction? Like, what does it look like? Because we don't have video in the system
Sure.
just yet, but we'll look at your story later this evening. We'll probably get a full glimpse, but just kind of describe what it looks like right now.
Well, we only went up to the 24th floor, so we went into the lobby, went
They have a good
directly
view.
up. They did have a fantastic
I was going to
view.
say, from the 24th floor, wow.
So they have 3 floors for the communications. We only saw the
Wow.
24th floor, which is where they were taking those calls. They had standing desk there. They said apparently,
Oh, nice.
I've never seen the old communications office, but they were saying that you went from like the basement to like the penthouse
Oh.
because they have like expansive 24th floor. You can imagine
Yeah,
you see the
some good
mountains, you see
views.
all of Phoenix. So they were saying that a lot of the workers kind of boost morale a little bit
Oh,
when
I
you have a nice
bet.
view
Yeah.
instead of being with no windows.
And it is always kind of cool just to
Windows
kind
are
of move
nice.
Yeah.
places too, isn't it? Kind of a new change of scenery.
You know, I bet these 911 callers get a lot of calls about
Operators.
weather. I'm sorry, operators get a lot of calls about weather, monsoons, rescues. And so it's nice to be able to gauge what's happening around them if they can look out the window. So 7,000 square feet, nearly 3 times larger than the current facility or the facility that they were in. They broke ground. I think this is amazing. Friday, February 14th. Valentine's Day is when they broke ground. That went up quick.
It did go up quickly. As I mentioned, they're going to be doing a whole lot more too. So this is just the first of obviously many different parts of the police department that are going to be there. But they said also some of the equipment is new, like state-of-the-art technology that now they're going to be able to, that's, their words from the press release, state-of-the-art technology, saying that they'll be able to respond to calls better. That's going to really help them and help the first responders out in the field.
What was the mood like in there?
I mean, there weren't a ton of people in there just yet because I think they're kind of just transitioning over. It was the first time they were giving kind of a sneak peek to the
tour,
media. Yeah, giving us a tour. So there were a few people in there. They were taking calls. Definitely excited. We had the press conference there. The mayor was there. Several city council members were there also. And the new police chief is there too. So
nice.
Cool. So I just saw Charles David said Phoenix needs more live cam monitoring like they do in Glendale. And did you mention, do they have something like that? Will they have something
I'm not
like
sure
that?
exactly about that, but they did say new technology that was really going to help them. So I'm not sure about that.
And that's pretty neat.
specifically.
We've actually run stories and pieces where they show us how it works, and they're able to take bits and pieces of what's happening and catch the criminals as a result or see what's happening.
I know I've seen that in other departments. I believe I covered the one in Glendale.
All right, now another trick question for you. Sorry, I'm asking you all these
Specifics? You need me stats time?
questions. Do you know what's going to happen to the building next to us yet? Did they say what they're going to do with that?
That I'm not sure.
Okay.
So
maybe we could move over there.
I was going to say they're making you a
huge-
new cubicle.
no, we're going to move over there. We can move to the basement.
And like in the
no
basement,
windows.
in the jail cells that they have down there, the holding cells.
I have been privy
into
to
an
many
office?
visits there.
Not because I've been in
Because
trouble.
she's a big
Oh,
criminal.
come on, Anita.
I do a lot of silent witness pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So I go over there for those interviews. And I mean, good for them.
Yeah.
They needed a new spot.
That would
yeah.
be nice. It's kind of nice to just have like a new, fresh spot. That's for sure.
And that view. So.
And that view, you're right.
You'll see it if you watch the story tonight. We unfortunately don't have the footage back
That's all
yet,
right.
but
we'll get it.
You literally just walked
we
in the
just
door.
walked
and
in
we're
the door.
like, Irene, come hang
I
out.
wasn't sure I was going to make it in time. I'm like, all right, I made it. Let's go.
I love it.
I'm,
all right.
I'm looking online to see if I can find more stats.
What they're
but
going to
we'll-
do with that building?
Yeah,
All right.
we'll figure that out.
Well, Irene, since you're here, you have been covering all week long one of our really big stories, this Kyrene de la Sierra Elementary School. So they shut down Sunday. Basically,
After the first week of
after
school.
the first week of school.
In the midst of construction. It's not like this construction just started.
Yeah, this was on the roof. They were doing roof construction, and they were talking about some issues, air quality issues within the school because of the construction that's going on in the roof. They immediately kind of canceled classes, told these kids that they're not going back on Monday, and obviously sent parents kind of scrambling since school was already in session. What is kind of the newest thing? They had the big meeting last night, and from what we were hearing and seeing, pretty contentious with some of those parents.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And you can understand why some people are
Yeah,
upset. It's
for
obviously
sure.
something they have to figure out this week, the remote learning. But they did give more information as far as the testing that they're doing. So they said it was I have my notes here, the Dominion Environmental Consultants Group. They were saying they kind of measured those levels to see what was there. And they told us what was considered a healthy level was they had ppb, that's considered parts per billion. They were saying shouldn't exceed 3,000. And they were saying in some cases, some areas of the school, it went double, triple, or even quadruple the amount. So obviously we don't want to have the kids in there right now. So that was those particulates that we mentioned before. So they're still doing more testing. I think as far as, they didn't give like details as far as this is exactly what it is, but just the fact that it's unhealthy levels, don't want the kids back in there right now.
So I think we heard a soundbite during our broadcast from a mom who said she was picking her young son up who has asthma from like an after-school type of camp. And she said there weren't many kids left in there by the time she got there. She walked in, she had a hard time breathing. I think a lot of questions, or a question that I would pose is, did anyone inside that school, and I don't know if you can answer this, and again, we're just discussing, but did anyone in that school before school open say, wait a minute, something doesn't smell right, or maybe they didn't notice it because you're in it. So does that make sense?
Yeah. You kind of become desensitized kind of when you're like in it.
Yeah.
Well, they mentioned a parent-teacher day, I believe is what it was. And then people came in and someone complained about the smell, or a few people complained about the smell. And then that's when they really looked into it and realized what was happening. So,
well, it's better that they caught it before anyone got sick and was exposed for a long period of time.
And sometimes those younger kids are a little bit more susceptible to these issues too. So it is kind of good. They've kind of started to come up with some contingency plans, but it doesn't sound like those kids are going to be back in those classrooms until after fall break, which is
October 10th.
October 10th.
That's a while. It's a couple more than 2 months, actually.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll give them some time. But so they're remote learning this week. They're going to have Zoom live classes tomorrow and Friday, so Thursday and Friday of this week. And then next week going to move to respective schools nearby so that they can do that in-person learning and adjust.
Yeah.
And that'll go until, again, October 10th.
You have to feel for not only the parents, but also these teachers. Kind of, scrambling once again, kind of being like, okay, how am I going to get this material out to these kids via virtual learning over the next couple of days? And then to kind of figure out how they're going to now, I guess, maybe teach in a smaller area or whatever they're going to be doing.
I did hear people say that because of COVID, it was easier. I don't remember if you mentioned it.
I think we talked about that on Monday.
Because of COVID and the transition to work from home and learn from home, they were able to figure out a plan a little bit quicker this time around than because they had a little bit of experience. But I think it's tough too for the kids. You know, they go to school, they see their friends, they make their friends, and now they may be assigned to other areas and not see their friends until October. So when you're little, it's important.
Yeah. Well, Irene,
thanks.
look at you.
Thank you. We got two different
double
stories
duty
week.
this
Oh my
morning.
God. High five.
Thank you.
Busy.
And I can high five you. I get a high five you too.
I'm desperately trying to figure out what they're going to do with this PD.
Sorry, I don't know the answer on that one.
No,
that's a question to ask next
We're
week.
going to send you over there to knock on the door and say, hey.
My day's not done yet.
Yeah, no.
Irene, go on assignment.
Irene, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we were just talking about kind of crime, but we came up with some pretty interesting crime stats. This is on the rundown if you wanted to look at that, Anita. But we were talking about this because violent crime in the United States has actually come down. So listen to this. Homicides have declined in major U.S. cities by more than 50% in some cities. This is during the first 6 months of the year. Pretty interesting, right?
This is according to Axios. And then they're talking a little bit about why these stats matter. And these are the latest signs that violent crime is falling from COVID crime wave, which we saw a lot of for many different reasons. And the drop just appears to continue to go down. I think do we have our scripts printed? I know we had Phoenix numbers as well. So
I did not print those.
Okay,
but
I'll try to find them. I think it was like in the earlier hours this morning. 19% drop. This is another one. So we actually have two reports that are both indicating the same thing, a drop in crime. 19% drop in homicide in the first 6 months of 2025 compared to the same time period in 2024. And that was a stat compiled by the Major Cities Chiefs Association. So we are talking about places like Denver, Honolulu, Orlando, Portland, and Tampa. They all had a 50% or more decrease in homicides during that period. And I think that Phoenix, if I'm remembering correctly, was like 11%. If we're reading that. It's interesting. We're trying to get an expert on, which obviously isn't going to happen today, but I'd love to know a little bit more as to why. Is it something police departments are doing? Is it something that's happening in society where we're seeing these numbers drop? Because it's good news all around for everybody.
For sure. Yeah. All right. Do you want to hear some other good news?
Yeah.
McDonald's is bringing back the adult Happy Meal. First of all, I didn't know that there was an adult Happy Meal.
I didn't either.
So listen to this.
Okay.
On the heels of the snack wraps return, remember we talked about that not too long ago, the fast food giant is reviving its golden era mascots to spark buzz and boost sales. This is because McDonald's reports its second quarter earnings on Wednesday, yesterday, or I guess that would be, yesterday. No, today.
Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. The first financial update since May that it had its worst showing since the pandemic. So they're kind of coming up with ways to kind of reinvent themselves.
I stopped. We were having the house painted. And so Monday I stopped and picked up McDonald's for Johnny because I didn't want to cook. And I bought him the 2 cheeseburger meal, which, and then a cheeseburger for Shorty. And it was almost $15.
Wow.
And now I didn't know this, but Des said they still have that $5 meal special. It's like a double cheeseburger, a couple of nuggets, fries, small fries, and a drink. But you have to ask for it. It's not on the menu.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I think that if these fast food places were smart, 10 seconds, they would have more deals like this.
All right. So the Happy Meal, the adult Happy Meal was released in October of 2022. And they sold out immediately. And I guess it came with some sort of toy, a cactus plant flea market toy, which they quickly started landing on eBay, according to this article in online marketplaces. We'll be right back.
Yeah, that's why I texted you. couple of talkers before we introduce our guest. Hi. This is new information that came out about the Titan submersible implosion. That happened a couple of years ago.
Killed 5 people back in 2023. So the Coast Guard kind of coming out with some big takeaways from that report. They said that this was caused by a major disregard for safety protocols from the company's CEO. And if you remember this, the CEO was one of the individuals, the 5 individuals that were killed in this incident. The Coast Guard blames a failure to follow protocols for the vessel's engineering, testing, and overall safety. The report says the CEO, Stockton Rush, could have been investigated for manslaughter if he would have survived this incident.
That was a big story. Everyone watched. I mean, that was a live feed.
Well, remember, because nobody really knew if they were still alive or dead or what exactly happened.
And everyone questioned why they went down there.
And they said that former employees were actually fired for speaking out before they went down, being like, hey, I don't know if this is 100% safe. I don't know if we should actually stick people in this and try and go down, to the depths that it did to go see the Titanic. So, yeah, some interesting things coming out of that report from the Coast Guard.
Okay. Well, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Michelle?
Yes.
Introduce yourself to everyone. You have a fantastic story that we want to share.
My name is Michelle Moore. I am the president and founder of Mother's Grace Charity.
So let's start at the very beginning.
Okay.
How did this all get started, and what is your charity all about?
So this started some 18 years ago. I had 3 young kids at the time. I was a business executive traveling all over and very busy life. I had 3 kids, 10, 7, and 4, and was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer and had to go in for chemotherapy. And the night before I started my chemotherapy, my 7-year-old son was rushed to the hospital, PCH, and diagnosed with juvenile diabetes in an inch of his life. And so during that time, he had to be in the hospital to stabilize his blood sugar and learn how to become insulin dependent. And I was not allowed to go into the hospital with him because I had low white counts from the chemotherapy.
You were sick yourself.
Yeah. So coming out of all of that, came home, had to still raise 3 boys, be on the road working, and really learned that moms and children can be the backbone of a very hard time.
What was that like for you? And I know we have a lot of moms watching and listening right now, but what was that like for you knowing that your son is in the hospital, really a life or death situation, and then a life-changing situation, and you can't go in there? You can't help him. You can't explain to him what's happening.
It's very difficult, and I think many moms that I've spoken to kind of go into do mode. You shut down feelings in do mode. So you're reading up on how to give shots of insulin. You're reading on how to make sure they don't go into a diabetic coma. You're trying to make sure that everybody's going to start being healthy at home. So you just kind of go into do mode and then you fall apart later. And I think that is the common story, common thread for a lot of moms.
So after this all happens, then you decided you've got to do something about this and help other people. Talk about kind of what you decided to do.
So at the time, I had a very good career going and, financially we were fine. But what I noticed is when you go down a medical crisis like that as a young mom, I was in treatment for over a year, and my son all of a sudden has diabetic needs where at the time, I had great insurance, but they were only covering insulin at maybe 50%. So medical costs, time away from work, just threw us off our game completely. And I realized that a lot of moms that are going through this, that are otherwise out there contributing to the community and working and being moms, these acute situations that come up and happen, throw them completely off their game. And to continue to hold it together, they need to feel some sort of support. So we decided we start very small, very grassroots. We started giving gift cards for gas and for eating at the hospitals, and then grew over time to where now.
Real quick, were those people in the hospital that you decided to kind of just help the people that immediately that were already in the hospital?
Either they were in the hospital or their children were in the hospital.
Okay.
We had partnership with PCH.
Gotcha. Okay.
These are people who had similar situations. And knew the needs, knew the wants, knew the angst.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
Yeah. So you decide we're going to start a nonprofit.
I started a nonprofit, very small. I think we started with like $5,000 with gift cards, and then just started incrementally growing it each year and expanding our reach. Now we're a multi-million-dollar charity.
Wow,
And
that's right.
we have helped over 3,000 families. Now we are at the point where we're paying mortgage for 1 or 2 months.
Unbelievable.
So, you know, if someone, and they have to have someone nominate them from aid. So it could be a social worker, a nurse, a best friend in the community. 85% of our funds stay local to Arizona, and then 15% do go out because now a lot of the hospitals, St. Jude's is calling us.
Wow.
They're calling and saying there's no other charity that will help a mom pay her mortgage.
Wow.
So we'll do it for 1 or 2 months just so they can focus on getting better. And then if they have to return to work at that point, they have a plan.
Your charity is called Mother's Grace.
Mother's Grace, yeah.
Is this, so then when you're saying a mom can't pay her mortgage, does it matter if mom is in a relationship, married, or doesn't have other support?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could be married and they both are working.
Anyone who needs it.
Anyone that needs it and is going through an acute situation. And we classify that as either an acute illness that requires treatment, a natural disaster like a fire or a hurricane. We've helped a lot with those. Or something where there's a grievous loss, like someone's been lost in the family and it's just thrown everything off.
What is this like? I mean, you kind of mentioned that you started just handing out gift cards kind of locally to now being able to say that your charity is worth millions of dollars and able to help hundreds,
Paying
if not thousands of people a day. What is that like for you to just kind of where you came from to now? That's unbelievable.
Well, it's taken 17 years, and it's taken a very strong group of moms. So all the moms on our board are to help work with this, but no one's paid. So it's a volunteer situation. They're all professionals, and they all bring something unique to the charity. So there's accountants, there's doctors, there's people that, you know, we vet everything very quickly, and then we get the aid within 72 hours. Let me say this: we pay an accountant, so part-time, to take care
That's
of all.
important.
Yeah, well-
We got to keep those books good. The IRS is always knocking at that door,
Yeah,
right?
so we
You
do
want
pay
to
an
know what's
accountant.
coming in and what's going out.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's just being responsible. Are
Exactly.
there any stories that really stick out to you? I mean, you've been doing
Probably a lot, right?
And how long
17
have you
years.
been doing this again?
17 and a half
Wow.
years.
So, okay.
Yeah.
In this, I know. So that's like asking us, do you have a favorite
Story that you've gone on, yeah.
covered? Because you meet so many incredible people. But sometimes you have that one mom, that one child who really...
I have a couple, but I will say from acute situations, one that always sticks out to me is a mom that was a teacher here locally in Scottsdale. And she was married. Her husband was away working, and he ended up leaving his family and leaving her to raise 2 kids. One was autistic. And she was working and taking care of everything. And she went up to her attic to pack up all his things and send him to him in his new life. And she fell through the attic and she broke her back.
Oh, no.
And was hospitalized for 30 days. And someone nominated us from the school system and said, hey, this mom is hardworking. She's raising 2 kids. One's autistic. So I said, well, I'll meet with her. Well, she came over to my house, I think like a week after she was released from the hospital. And she tells me as she sits down, she goes, yeah, I was released out of the hospital, and I just found out I'm also diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
So immediately we went in and paid her mortgage for a couple months. We also came and completely cleaned her home, took care of that. We did we have volunteers. We have over 50 volunteers. So we did meals for her, and she went back to work, and she's doing fine today. That was like 10 years ago.
Now that you've been doing this for so many years, you kind of see maybe the gaps that people fall in. I guess maybe the gaps is not the right word,
No,
but
it's
you know
a good
what I
question.
mean?
Yeah.
Where do you see the area where the majority of these people are kind of faltering or having the difficulty?
The
'Cause
biggest
I think,
need?
Well, yeah, the biggest need.
Yeah.
Because I think once you
I
kind
know
of
you mean.
peel apart the onion, you
Yeah.
kind of start to see those places where there's maybe I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I know, I know.
The safety net is not there.
Well, I think that's a great question, but you have to
Not
remember.
very well worded, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what
Yeah.
you're saying. I know what you're saying, and I think that's really important. But a lot of these moms are young, raising kids, and they're in their kind of financial building process. And they may have good insurance. They may have good life insurance. But it is rare to find young families that have a 12-month emergency fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say I had a great job. and I didn't have a 12-month emergency fund. So it is rare to do that. You just think, oh, we're invincible. We're working. My husband's working. So I would say just making sure people have an emergency fund and good access to support with family and friends, because you depend on that for childcare. You depend on it for bringing food, things like that, and just having good resources.
Yeah.
And just to touch on that, you were talking about medical bills.
Yeah.
So 50% of your son's diabetes medications and treatments that he needed was covered. But you may think, I have great insurance.
Yeah.
We have great insurance
Yeah.
here. We're very fortunate,
Yes.
but I don't know. I don't know how much would be covered. And there are things that, I have a friend who's going through breast cancer, recently diagnosed, who wants to get a cap.
Yes.
And these caps.
The cold caps?
Yes.
Cold
And
caps, that's
they
right.
preserve the hair from falling out, which I would imagine, thankfully, God bless, I've not had to struggle with that.
Yes.
You want to keep your physical appearance because you're going through so much emotionally
Absolutely.
and mentally, but that cap's not covered.
No, it's well over $1,000 too. Yeah. So
Wow.
I would say that in those situations, you're spot on. People want to find some semblance of normality.
Yeah.
And the cold caps, just sometimes you're going through chemo and it's a very painful process. So for me, someone referred me to an acupuncturist for the pain. That's not covered.
That's not going to be covered, right?
But even little things like my son's diabetes. Most people today, this was 18 years ago, most people today have access to pumps and monitors that help monitor all that. But out of pocket, that's another $500.
Yeah.
So there are many people that can't afford that. So we have helped people get fixed up for juvenile diabetes.
Sometimes you just need, maybe like you said, someone to come help clean your house,
Yes.
or maybe even to go out to dinner.
Yeah.
Because you want to feel normal, you want to forget.
Yep.
Or maybe for a moment not have to think about and dwell and live around whatever's happening.
We've done all kinds of things, from sponsoring a birthday party because one of the girls was having a birthday and mom was in the hospital. So we sponsored a birthday party, set it all up, brought presents. We've also sent families to Disneyland that are, stage 4 cancer. So did all kinds of
And
different
anything and everything you can do.
Yeah.
How can people help you? We've got less than a minute left.
So if you want to donate to Mother's Grace, like I said, we are a platinum rated charity. That means over 90% goes straight to the recipient. You can go online and donate, or you can reach out to us on our website at mothers-grace.org.
And we'll put that in the chat too, so you guys can check that out. Michelle, thank you so much for coming in.
Sure.
You're quite an inspiration.
Yeah, pretty
well,
neat.
thanks for coming in.
How's your son doing? Good?
He's great.
And how are you?
Yeah.
Great. It's been 18 years.
Good
Love
for you.
that. All right.
Yeah.
Have a great Wednesday, everybody. We'll be back here tomorrow on
And
Thursday.
Des and Ron are coming up.
They sure are.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our 2-hour block of Fox 10 Talks. Boy, we've got some great stories to talk about now over the next couple of hours. And it's Ron. Hello.
Hey.
It's Desiree. Hi, Des.
Hi.
Good. How's your morning been? What have you been up to?
Busy.
Yes.
Nonstop.
Right.
So after the show, I go out, we hit the road, and we've got live shots all morning. So.
Right. Any highlights you want to tell us about?
Well, let's see. August is Breastfeeding Awareness Month. So
nice.
Yeah,
okay,
good. I'm a
good.
breastfeeding mama now times 4. Still nursing Debbie. But the Milk Spot, it's kind of right across from Phoenix Children's Hospital. It's a great resource for moms. They do a free support group on Wednesdays, and then any mother struggling to nurse or with milk production, latch, or anything like that, they have all those resources there.
Yeah.
So it's really good. Nice thing for moms to know.
Well,
exists.
that's really great.
Yeah.
And we have been having a great show already. We've discussed many things, including they're going to have a second meeting tonight regarding the Dragon Bravo fire. Emotions were raw.
Yes, that's at Page High School.
Last
right?
night. Yeah, that was in Fredonia. And the quote that came out of that first one was, "Tell us the truth." People want answers. This fire just grows day by day by day. And I know the actual firefighters who are on the ground are doing everything they can to try to get that thing under control.
Well, because as of yesterday, it was just 126,000 acres. Now
Correct.
we're over 200.
Well,
right?
130.
Or 130.
130,500.
Where did I go?
But yeah, you can understand some of the frustration out there. Anyway, we have a story for you this morning that the newest city in the United States of America looks like it's about to be created. And we have Tyler Hudgens joining us this morning. Tyler, you've kind of been organizing the Vote Yes campaign, I guess, and the numbers are strong enough. As you sit with us at 11:30, do you have an update on where the numbers stand? I know it was running they were getting close to counting most of the votes, and it looked like it was passing overwhelmingly. What have you heard?
Yeah, so we got a 2-to-1 margin lead as the yes vote, with about 2,500 votes outstanding. So that's a 4,000 vote margin. It's mathematically insurmountable at this point. Okay,
all right. What would you say was behind the voters' decision? Because this had been talked about for a long You're not living in Santan Valley, although I did have some family members who used to live there, and they really there's a little bit more of a laid-back feel even than Queen Creek, which is out there quite a ways. Right. What would you say are the pluses of just living out in that area? And then what do you think kind of swung the election your way?
Yeah, this is a story that's been decades in the making. There's been many incorporation attempts that have gone before us. And really what draws people to Santan Valley is the charm of the area. People like being out on the eastern side of town. It's a bit more affordable. But then there's been a lot of challenges that residents have innately had to engage with every day, whether it's the roads, and 85% of the community plus are commuting outside Santan Valley because there's no jobs. And so you have all those people going through two main arteries on Hunt Highway and Ironwood Road. So every day they got to deal with those roads. And then also just the service issues in our area. And so I think residents said, hey, we want change, and the status quo is not good enough.
So what is the benefit to becoming a town? You just made reference to some of the challenges. So can you lay out what some of those are, and then how becoming a town can help improve?
Yeah, so right now we're managed by the Pinal County Board of Supervisors. They manage an area the size of Connecticut. So it's a massive geographical area. You have 5 supervisors, one of which lives in Santan Valley. And so you have 4 other supervisors who live in other parts of the county that are making decisions for our area, who don't live here and don't know the area. And so what incorporation will bring is 7 representatives who live in Santan Valley, who are invested in Santan Valley, who can start to make those decisions and move the ball forward.
Let's talk about the practical impacts of it all. You've got less than a year to get a city formed. How does that process work? And how do you then quickly get into place where I assume you're going to have a mayor and a town council and a city manager and a police chief and a police force? You got a lot to get done.
Yeah, so being unincorporated was one of the most wasteful and inefficient uses of taxpayer money. So every year, Santan Valley residents were sending millions of dollars to go fund the other 91 cities and towns throughout the state. Those dollars will start to come back to Santan Valley. Immediately, those will start coming in, and they'll be able to use those funds to start getting the town up and running. Also, Pinal County is legally obligated to continue to manage the services and fund those services and everything they do until July 1st, 2026.
Okay.
And even in that case, they've told us they will hand off services at the appropriate time to set the town up for success.
In other words, they could transition later? Or it all has to be done by July 1st?
There will be an interim appointed council that the county will appoint here soon, and those individuals will serve for a year until August 2026 while the county continues to pay and maintain everything. And then there will be an appropriate handoff after July 1, 2026.
Now, in the case of, because this is a huge task, right, to set up a town now, if you don't meet that deadline, is that, a hard deadline, or is there flexibility in working with the county past that point?
The county's indicated there's flexibility in working, so they won't, hey, day one, we're throwing it all at you. But the goal would be for that town council to really get it in a position to be ready to go.
So basically, it's are you going to kind of form an advisory committee that's going to be working with the county to bring it all together, or just do you have some a regular town meetings so townspeople can be caught up to speed? How about all that?
Yeah, the county's going to certify the election on August 18th, and then they're going to put forward the process for the appointments. Anybody in the community can apply for that, and that group will become the town leadership that will start to move the needle forward.
Okay. And we have a question in the chat this morning, if you don't mind answering that, from Dave. He says, will incorporation result in property tax liability that residents currently are not subject to?
Yeah, so with property taxes, a town council could not vote to enact a property tax. So property taxes would have to go to the voters, and voters would have to decide to tax themselves.
Okay.
By the way,
sorry, I'm trying to get our page
and real quick, we
here.
also think property taxes are highly unlikely because they're unpopular.
Sure.
And the elected council would lose their jobs really fast. So
there's a bold call right there. That's a hot take.
So most cities and towns operate off sales tax revenue.
Okay. All right. So what will the population be? This is so interesting to me because you're going to be a major city in the state of Arizona. What's the population project? This isn't like, maybe some small town in Texas of a couple thousand people, decides, hey, we're going to be a city. This is a big time deal. What do the numbers look like?
Yeah, so U.S. Census data shows our map area at 91,000 residents.
Oh, wow.
And so we expect that number to be over 100,000 residents. We are larger than Queen Creek. Queen Creek's around 70,000 residents.
I don't think most people realize that.
Yeah, so this will be the largest incorporation effort in the state's history, and we believe at least this side of the Mississippi, one of the largest in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
And you want growth, right? I mean, you just mentioned that you said there are no jobs in Santan Valley. A lot of people are commuting out. So what is the vision? Is that to keep people in, create jobs, and continue to grow?
Yeah. So Santan Valley, it's not a rural community anymore. It's changed. It's continued to change. We're 100,000 people. And so part of the incorporation effort is saying, hey, we need to recognize the fact that we're 100,000 people. The estimates show us it growing to 320,000 residents.
Wow.
And so there's a charm and character of what brought people to this area that is eroding quickly. And if we didn't do anything about it, that would be gone. What incorporation will allow us to do is retain that character and what we liked about Santan Valley, going into the forward with a master plan to guide development, because development's coming and we want to do it smartly. We want to do it in the right way.
So basically buy your house right now in Santan Valley before prices go up.
There you go.
And everybody wants to move there.
A couple more questions here. I also live out in that area, kind of north of Queen Creek in that Eastmark area. I cannot believe that you have 2 lanes of the 24, 2 lanes that come north from Ellsworth for Queen Creek, and 2 lanes that come out of Ray Road for the Eastmark area. 6 lanes converge to 1 lane, as you well know. to get from the 24 onto the 202. That's got to be a frustration for everybody. And is that something you guys are also going to be looking at, trying to maybe partner with the state to get that resolved?
My hope is that we do. We were disappointed to see that the funding was pulled back for that project. In our view, that's essential. There are serious transportation issues that need to be resolved, and it's a public safety issue.
Yeah.
And so having the proper flow of traffic includes the plan with the 24 that needs to get done.
Also, I would say probably 98% of our audience who's watching. It's a streaming show. We're live on YouTube. We have people watching from all over the state and all over the country. They probably know nothing about Santan Valley. We got about a minute left. Give us the synopsis of what this community is all about and why you think people should actually seriously consider moving out your way.
Yeah. Santan Valley is a group of people that have loved their community, that have been a bunch of zip codes for a long time and have grown significantly. And it's a place we want to be able to call home and be a connected community. Unfortunately, we haven't had that. We think incorporation is the vehicle to make it home.
That's great. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure having you in.
Yeah.
No kidding.
You got a big job ahead.
Okay. And here are just a few more pictures. So, Tyler, thanks very much for joining us. It is a major story because we have so many different big stories every single day. But the fact that a city of almost 100,000 is about to come online here in the great state of Arizona is something that we're going to continue to just kind of follow it along as a whole new community becomes one of our biggest cities in the state of Arizona. Tyler, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, before we go to break, let's update everybody, Des, on our poll question this morning. Here's what it looks like. So the president last night, he was asked a question. Should the FBI get involved in this case where you have state legislative leaders that are hiding out, kind of? I don't know if hiding out's the right word. They're doing as many interviews as possible, but they're refusing to come back to Texas. Should the FBI get involved? 57% are saying good. They should either be arrested or forced to get back to work. Bad, FBI doesn't need to get involved. 12%, they shouldn't be arrested, maybe fined. They need to get back to work. And almost 30% say no arrests, no fines. I hope they hold out for a long time. A lot of opinion there, Des.
Yeah, bold opinions there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right, time for a break.
We got our mystery cam,
yep,
right?
We do. Here we go.
Get your
Oh, I
guesses
like
in.
this one. Look at that. You will take your guesses, and we're back in 2 minutes. Okay, here we go with a mystery cam, and I love Patricia because she is she's like a walking, talking encyclopedia.
Mm-hmm.
And so she says the mystery cam is Kansas City, Missouri. She's very confident.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a guess.
I know.
She's like telling us where it's at. I love that.
Louis has Oklahoma. These are just a few of the guesses. And so
I love Melinda's guess.
What? What did she have to say?
Not Tucson is my final guess.
It's kind of an inside joke
Mm-hmm.
for you regulars. Yeah, she always likes to guess Tucson. And so Linda Monterth is saying Missouri. I want to say it's somewhere on the East Coast. So I think it's hard to go against Patricia because she is pretty savvy, but I'm going to say it's maybe like a Virginia or a Maryland, kind of in that D.C. area. I think I'm going to go Virginia. What are you going to do, Des?
I was actually going to say Maryland.
Look at that. Okay, we're surrounding D.C., and the answer is... What do you got here?
You should have gone with
Des?
Patricia.
Oh,
It's Kansas
look at
City,
her.
Missouri.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does she have access to her cameras or something?
Yeah, I don't know. But Patricia, you're amazing to us. This is fantastic. Okay.
Wow, good guess.
We're learning slowly but surely. Don't go against Patricia's guesses.
Nope, Patricia's always right.
Yeah. All right. So there's a story unfolding that we are watching for you closely. Sadly, there's been a mass shooting on one of our most prominent military bases in the country. It's Fort Stewart outside of Savannah, Georgia, and parts of it had to go into lockdown. It's a massive, huge facility. Their Facebook page told everybody that they were in lockdown, stay inside, close and lock your windows and doors. And it is home, did you know this, to the largest Army post in the entire eastern half of the United States. Thousands of soldiers and their families are stationed there, and they actually closed all access to the fort, to the gates, etc. The reports, Des, that I'm seeing indicate, unfortunately, that 5 soldiers were shot as the gunman opened fire. Beyond that, we're sort of standing by to try to get additional information.
Yeah, I mean, this is just devastating to see unfold this morning. I mean, as you mentioned, it prompted the base to go into lockdown. There's a number of schools in the area as well that were placed on lockdown. And it did promote the base commander to have to lock down the facilities in the wake of this situation. But the good news here is the shooter was apprehended. We now know. So they are saying there's no longer an active threat in that community at this time.
Yeah, and by the way, we've also been told to stand by for some sort of a news conference to try to update additional. I mean, it is such a massive facility, and there's so many logistics involved, and then you have family members who you're going to want to be in touch with. We have not heard any reports of any fatalities, at least not yet. We are talking about injuries. I will say the word they were using earlier was casualties, but we are going to try to just continue to stay on top of that story and try to get you some additional information. Okay, so Des, the other story that, and we talked about this in the last hour, that there was a situation where a member of a church group went out on a hike up in that beautiful pine strawberry area, Fossil Creek. And we actually have the pastor from the church who joins us now. Now, Joe Sullivan was the member of this church group. Pastor, thanks for joining us today on the phone.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about this kind of hiking group that you had out there. Is this kind of a regular thing? Do you get a group of people to go together just to enjoy each other's fellowship on hikes on a regular basis? Tell us just a little bit of the backstory, if you would. Can you hear me, Pastor? Take it away.
Well, we hear his dog or the neighbor's dog.
Yeah, we hear some activity.
Pastor, are you there?
You might have got tired of waiting on the line for us, that's for sure. But Oh, there. I think we got him coming to the phone right now. All right, Pastor, we were just telling everybody you had Joe Sullivan, a member of your flock, 59 years old, who was out there as part of this group that went hiking, and somehow he got separated from the rest of the group. Can you tell us any more about just kind of what was going on over the course of these last few days? How did he get separated, and then how was he finally found? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure if he can hear us or what's going on.
Technology, right? We love when it glitches. Can you hear us, Pastor? We can hear him shuffling around a little bit.
Right, yeah. Okay.
We can. Pastor?
Yeah, Dave, do you have any communication with him right now? What? What's that, Dave?
No, Pastor? Is he?
Okay,
all right, well,
we'll try him
we
back
can try him again
here in a minute. But boy, we have plenty of other stories to talk about.
Yeah.
This next story.
But that is a fascinating story. He survived for days, and they found him.
Gosh,
I mean,
yes.
you know, how often
Right.
do we get a good ending to a story like that?
Yep,
And we have how many rescues here in town locally?
Yes.
Hundreds of them that don't always end up well.
Another story that sure had a lot of people talking this morning. It's pretty shocking. A man's been arrested. This is, if you haven't heard about it, it's unbelievable. But he was arrested for reportedly kidnapping his estranged girlfriend, threatening to shoot her dog, and then actually doing it, driving her out to the desert, shooting and killing her dog. The details are just unbelievable. We'll follow this story. Pinal County attorney says that Perry Can actually drove her out into the desert. This was a couple 3 months ago, and then gave her an ultimatum: lure your current boyfriend, so he's estranged, ex-boyfriend, lure your current boyfriend out here. Now, she knows they're out in the desert and he's got a gun. And if you don't, he's basically trying to blackmail her. If you don't, I'll shoot your dog.
That's a really difficult position to be in. But for her to hold her ground and, you know, not cave and out of fear and calling her current boyfriend, I mean, that takes a lot of courage in that moment, because I can only imagine you're probably thinking, when does he turn the gun on me and not the dog? And then to do that in front of her, just not the cream of the crop here.
Yeah.
You know, and domestic violence, it's this very serious topic and hard for some, you know, women to escape from.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
glad she was able to get through this.
Well, we'll follow it for you, but he's going to face a number of charges, enough that if he were to be convicted, he'll be in the slammer for a very long time, including kidnapping, animal cruelty. But it sounds like as they look at it, they probably might have cause for some additional
Linda said, and throw away the key.
There you go.
I agree. I have no sympathy for
I know
for those who prey on women, children, especially. Yeah.
By the way, we always point out, innocent till proven guilty. That's our legal system of justice. But boy, what a story.
Sounds like they have a
Unbelievable.
good case, though.
We're going to bring Pastor back on now with a chance to chat with us here for a couple of minutes. Let's try it out one more time. Testing 1, 2, 3. Pastor,
Hi,
can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Nope, I guess not. Yeah,
I guess not.
No.
All right, we tried, you guys.
We tried
twice. Third time. Are we thinking third time's a charm, or we're not going to try it
I don't
the
want
third
to keep
time?
trying.
We're not going to try it. We're
I
going to
don't want
test
to
our
put
luck.
you guys at home through all that.
Yeah.
Let's on to our next story here. So,
Yeah.
Sure, you got him on the phone?
All right, we have him on the phone. We can hold
All
the
right,
phone up to the
Pastor.
mic.
Can you give us just a little bit more of the background? Tell us about the group and what you've heard about how Joe Sullivan, who ultimately came out of this situation alive, how they got separated. Just give us some of the background.
All right. Well, they went on a hike. They took a group of young men, about 15 teenagers. It's a group that meet in the first weekend of each month, and they do different activities. You know, they go to mass, go to confession. They have a couple of talks, and they do fun things like going on a hike. And this past weekend, went on a hike on Strawberry, Arizona, where you park on top of the rim and then walk 4 miles down where there is a waterfall and a pool where you can swim, natural pool, and
how did Joe actually get separated from the rest of the group? And then how was he found? We got about a minute left. Yeah, go for it.
In the way back, he decided to go ahead of the group. He likes to walk fast, but he took a wrong turn somewhere. And then he called and said at 7:30 p.m., "I'm lost," he said. Wow. And his phone went dead, so he couldn't use the phone anymore. And so he followed a creek and thought that the creek was going to lead him somewhere to find somebody. And the creek led him to a big cliff, or not a straight cliff, but quite an incline. So he decided to go up that incline, and but we're talking about 50 hours.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he waited so long to even call, waiting until 7.
Some during the night. At night he said he was cold, and he didn't have any blankets or anything. He just had his swimming trunks to throw on himself because he had been swimming in the pool. So with the more the time went by, we thought the chances of him being alive, it was very, very few. So finally, he got to the top of the rim, and after being lost for some 50 hours, and walked a couple of miles and found a highway. I don't remember the name of the highway, but he saw a car coming, and he stood in the middle of the road, waved his hands. They stopped, picked him up, took him to the sheriff station, and then they got in touch with me.
Wow. Okay, so that's is
great.
the kind of story, like you say, Pastor, thanks very much, by the way. That was an excellent kind of play-by-play. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I mean, huge feelings of relief, excitement, gratefulness, right, when he was
yeah.
found. I mean, and to survive that many days on prickly pears.
Yeah, how about
prickly
that?
pears and whatever water he could find.
That's our show
Resourceful.
for today. Pastor, thank you for your time so much. We'll be back tomorrow.